Life is a numbers game. Hey, fucktard. Do you succeed in everything you do? Let's say you're in sales. Do you close every customer that you see? When you go and find girlfriends or boyfriends, let's say you're a guy and you're looking for a girl, do you sleep with all the girls on the first date, every single one of them? The reality is, life is a numbers game. Life is 98% failure and 2% success in industry average. And this is the industry average. You're gonna fail 98% of the time, and you're really only going after the 2% that are gonna make you successful. Let's say you work at a Kia dealership and you are a salesperson standing in the dealership, and as people coming in and out, looking at the car, looking at the mirror, looking at the tire, looking at the steering wheel, how many of those people actually buy a car from you? The reality is probably a very small percentage of those people. And the number will increase if you have all the sales techniques and you have all the presentation, you know how to follow up, you know the sales cycle, you know how to use CRM. If you hone your skill set, if you hone your trade craft, then you'll get better at it. But it's not going to be 50%. It's not going to be 100%. You might increase your sales close rate from 2% to 10%. But it's not going to be all of them. You cannot close all of the people that come into the dealership. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in software, it's in anything. The reality is you must understand that you're going after the successes. It's going to take a lot of failures to get to that success. Of course, we all heard the story about Thomas Edison, how he tried 10,000 times to invent the light bulb. And so that's another example of, continue to fail until you find your success. And you really only need one or two success for some people, right? For certain industries, you only need one or two success out of 1,000 to become very successful. I was recently listening to Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. Well, I think many of us heard of his speech before. You might have. He was like rejected by Harvard 10 times. He was rejected by KFC X number of times. His company was rejected by investors like 30 times. So it takes a lot of rejections to finally get to his success. No matter what you do in life, whether it is finding a husband, finding a wife, or starting a business, or doing sales, or even doing marketing, you have to understand that life is a numbers game. You're only going to succeed a small percentage of the time, but you gotta travel the distance. You gotta go through all that failure to find your success. There's actually one thing that maybe will help you understand what numbers game is. I think this is an example that people can actually understand. Some people do this. You're looking for a girlfriend on the internet. Let's say you're using Tinder or some of the dating apps. When people are doing this, they totally understand the numbers game. So what they do is they message every single girl, right? They message every single girl in Tinder, for example, and they're just waiting for people to come back, for the girls to respond. They're just waiting, and then they're just waiting for the girls to respond, right? Now that's the time they understand numbers game, right? But when it comes to work, they know fuck all. Why don't you understand that it takes 100 calls to get 2 prospects? Why, when it comes to work, you do not understand that? Same thing with marketing. When you run marketing campaigns, not every single campaign will be successful. In Facebook, for example, maybe you're running 100 campaigns, maybe you're doing A/B tests, 98 of them will be shit. And that you need to understand that. It's about the 2%. The 2% that you find, return on investment on those 2% are excellent. The 98% are shit. You remove the 98%, you keep the 2%, and you try another 100, and then you try another 100, and you try another 100. That is the key to success in anything. You keep on trying, regardless of the failures, and knowing that you're going to fail 98% of the time. Let's say you start a business. You think you're going to make money the first month, the first day? No. It's going to take time to build traction. Maybe it's going to take you 1 month. Maybe it's going to take you 1 year, right? Maybe it's going to take you 2 years. Maybe it's going to take you 3 years to see, break-even point, to see profitability. But are you going to be there to, accept the failures? Are you going to be there to learn from the failures until you reach that point? Most people won't. Most people will give up on their first failure. And then they will blame the fucking economy. Oh, it's COVID-19. Oh, I hired the wrong people. Oh, I X, Y, Z, right? So they have excuses after excuses after excuses why they failed. But the real reason is they haven't tried long enough and hard enough. So life is a numbers game. Keep on trying. Go for the 2%. Learn from the 98% failure. And that's the key to accomplishing whatever you set out to achieve. Don't be a fucktard. Take fucking action.